Winfred, thank you so much.
Use it for whatever you like. Sorry it took me a while, Mom. I know I've always been a burden.
Turns out my son had been sending me money for the past year. Thrilled, I immediately headed to the bank. But when I tried to withdraw money, the bank teller surprised me with, "Ma'am, you only have $1.20 left in your account."
Ma'am, you only have $1.20 left in your account.
I knew who was behind this. Unforgivable. They'll pay for this sooner or later. My name is Alethea. I'm 65. Currently, I live alone in a small condo. My husband passed away when our son Winfred was young, so I raised him on my own. He's grown into such a compassionate, decent man, and now he's doing well as a corporate employee. I worked hard to provide for him. He worked just as hard academically and went on to a prestigious university. Now he's climbed the corporate ladder and seems to be making good money. Winfred, 32 now, and appears to be in a serious relationship. Life's good for him, professionally and personally. I'm genuinely thrilled that he's leading a happy life, considering I worked long hours and likely made him feel lonely. Just recently, he told me he's getting married.
So you're finally starting a family of your own.
About a week later, he brought his fiancée for a family meeting.
Nice to meet you. I'm Catherine.
Hello, I'm Winfred's mom.
Catherine had an elegant and refined aura. We talked over tea and snacks in the living room, and she was consistently gracious and warm. She would bring happiness into my son's life. I felt reassured. I met Catherine's parents as well, and they were lovely people. The wedding was beautiful, and I couldn't help but cry. Winfred and Catherine were radiant, and I took countless photos. The thought of my son finally leaving the nest made me a little sad, but I look forward to meeting my grandchildren and more happy moments to come. I've lived long enough to see my son look so dignified on his wedding day, and I'd like to live long enough to meet my grandkids. As I settled back into my regular life, Catherine, now my daughter-in-law, paid me an unexpected visit.
Oh, what brings you here?
I was surprised to see her. A heads up would have been nice. I would have dressed up and tidied the place.
I don't have any specific reason. I have some free time now that I'm a housewife, so I thought I'd check up on you. I have some treats a friend gave me, shall we?
Is that so? I appreciate it. Oh, I have some treats a friend gave me. Shall we?
Sure, let's enjoy them.
It was surprising, but heartwarming that she took the initiative to visit me. She didn't come because my son told her to. She came on her own accord. How thoughtful. I instantly fell in love with her.
Alethea, would you like some help with cleaning?
What? Oh, you don't have to do that. I'd feel bad having you come all this way just to help me clean.
Don't worry about it. Cleaning can be tough on your back, you know? So please let me handle it.
Thank you, Catherine.
From then on, Catherine regularly visited my home to help me with household chores. I was so grateful that I even called my son to let him know and thank him.
Catherine is at Mom's place?
Yes, she's been a huge help with housework. She's really a great wife.
I'm glad to hear you like her, Mom. Work has been so busy. We barely have time as a couple. I was worried she might be lonely.
I didn't know that, but she seems really happy. She even talks about how great you are.
What did Catherine say?
That's a secret.
What? Now I'm curious. You two aren't bad-mouthing me, are you?
Who knows?
I guess as long as you and Catherine get along, that's what matters.
Yes, she's very reliable and I feel at ease with her.
Catherine and I always share cheerful conversations. Touched by her kindness, I felt the need to show my appreciation.
Catherine, thank you for always helping out around the house.
Oh, I don't mind. I enjoy doing it.
What's your favorite type of cake, Catherine?
I like chocolate cake.
All right, I'm gonna buy some from the local bakery. Their chocolate cake is delicious.
Really? Are you sure?
Absolutely.
So I went to the bakery and bought the cake. Then I returned home, brewed some delicious tea, and enjoyed it with Catherine.
It's really delicious, Alethea. Thank you.
Don't mention it. Thank you for always coming over.
I'm retired now, living alone at home, though I'm still quite healthy at 65. You never know what could happen. It's possible to suddenly collapse and go unnoticed, risking my life. So having Catherine come over regularly is a blessing. Before we knew it, about 1.5 years had passed. Catherine continues to visit, and my son regularly checks in to see if anything has changed.
I'm sorry I haven't been around much lately. Work's been really hectic.
You got promoted again recently, didn't you? That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm grateful for it, but the job's gotten way more demanding.
Just don't push yourself too hard, okay? Your health is your wealth.
Yeah, thanks. By the way, Mom, have you been using the money I've been sending?
Money? What money?
Wait, hasn't Catherine mentioned it?
No, she hasn't.
Well, I've been transferring it to your bank account. You should see it if you check your bank statements.
I haven't really been using that account lately, and haven't checked it either.
Okay, well, I've been sending around $1,000 a month for the past year, so there should be around $12,000 in there.
You didn't have to do that.
No, I wanted to. It's my way of saying thanks and giving back a little.
Winfred, thank you.
Feel free to use it on anything you like.
It turns out my son has been sending me money for the past year. Thrilled, I headed straight to the bank. I was already thinking of how to spend this money my son sent me as I approached the counter.
Ma'am, there's only $1.20 left in your account.
What? What are you talking about?
It looks like there have been several withdrawals from an ATM recently. Have you been making those?
No, I haven't used this account in a while.
Then I'd recommend speaking with the police. Someone may have been accessing your account fraudulently.
Fraudulent use?
I immediately knew who was behind this. Someone who has frequent access to my home and could easily grab my bank card. The only person it could be is Catherine. But would Catherine really do something like this? I found it hard to believe. Still, no other explanations made sense. I immediately called my son.
He said, I'll wrap up at work early and come home today, and arrive that night.
I showed him the bank statement.
Wow, you're right. Nothing's left. And there have been regular withdrawals.
You believe me, right? I didn't take this money.
I know, Mom. I don't think you'd lie. I'll look into it.
All right?
My son said that and left for the night. I bought a small safe to keep my banking cards and other valuables in. I tucked it away in the very back of a chest in the living room. This way, it's easy to find, and the safe won't open without a key. Whenever Catherine comes over, I made sure to keep the key on me at all times. As long as I don't leave the living room, I don't have to worry about anyone taking my banking cards. However, the next time Catherine visited, I took extra precautions.
Alethea, I'll go clean your room now.
Ah, thank you.
About 3 minutes after Catherine went to clean, I stealthily peeked into the room. I saw her rummaging through my dresser. That's where I used to keep my banking cards and debit cards. Quietly, I recorded her actions on my phone. It was clear Catherine was stealing my money. How low can you get? Pretending to be kind, and then doing something like this. Then my son gave me some shocking news.
It seems like Catherine is frequenting nightclubs and blowing money there.
What?
I was giving her $4,000 a month. She's always lived frugally, so I thought she was saving the money. To find out she's been wasting it like this is really shocking.
Turns out Catherine has been spending even the money my hardworking son earned on her nightclub escapades. This is absolutely unforgivable. How dare she do this to my precious son? I'm gonna punish you right now. I was filled with indescribable rage. A few days later, I visited my son and his wife.
Alethea, what brings you here? It's unusual for you to visit.
I called her over.
What? Winfred did?
She seemed clueless, not suspecting that we were about to confront her.
Why did you call Alethea?
My son came right to the chase.
Catherine, you've been using the money I sent to Mom without permission, haven't you?
What? What are you talking about?
Catherine seemed extremely flustered.
Are you accusing me of taking Alethea's money? Why would you say that all of a sudden?
When Mom checked her bank account, the money was all gone, and there were ATM withdrawals that she didn't recognize.
You're saying it's me? Hold on, this is outrageous. Why would I be suspected?
Catherine shouted, her face turning red.
Alethea, are you sure you didn't just forget and it's actually your fault?
Excuse me? Are you saying I'm senile?
I'm not saying that explicitly, but if I'm being suspected, then I have to say it might be possible.
And then Catherine claimed that I was the one who made the withdrawals.
Well, if that's what you think, maybe we should consult the police and have them check the bank's security footage.
As soon as I mention the word police, her face changes, clearly rattled.
You're making too big a deal of this.
My son quickly jumps in.
Big deal? We're actually missing 12 grand. This is definitely a matter for the police.
You can't be serious.
Why don't you just come clean? We know you've been splurging at nightclubs. We also know you've been meeting up with a guy at a hotel.
Saying this, my son shows her a photograph capturing her and an unknown man entering a hotel.
How did you get this photo?
I hired a private investigator. Also, Mom captured you on video snooping through her dresser. Pay Mom back the 12 grand and agree to divorce after compensating for the affair.
What will I do if you divorce me?
What will I do if you divorce me?
That's your problem. You deceived and betrayed both me and Mom. Accept your punishment.
My son raises his voice. Just then, the doorbell rings and her parents arrive.
Dad? Nan? What are you doing here?
We can't believe you'd act like this.
Her parents apologize, and Catherine's face turns pale as she collapses to her knees. After that, my son successfully gets a divorce. Her parents paid back the stolen $12,000 and the compensation in a lump sum. Apparently, Catherine had guessed the PIN for my cash card based on our past conversations. I had used my late husband's birthday as the PIN, and she figured it out. Catherine has since been sent back to live with her parents. She is currently working multiple part-time jobs, most of which goes towards repaying the debt. I am just thankful her parents are decent people. My son has returned home for now and lives with me.
Next time, I'll make sure to really understand the person before marrying, he says.
I'll also manage our money better. We both have lessons to learn, I reply.
We're relieved it worked out this time, but who knows if we'll be as fortunate in the future. I need to protect myself, that's for sure. I took it to heart, strongly reminding myself that I must protect my own interests. My son might remarry and move out eventually, but for now, I'm embracing the days we can spend together. With that in mind, I headed to the kitchen to cook a delicious meal for my hardworking son.